That I used to do. I almost robbed a movie theater one time just so I could have something cool to talk about near women that I was afraid to talk about.
Yeah, that's what
talk
I'm saying.
to. Yeah,
we do things. You know what I mean? But that's not.
Why a movie theater?
Oh man, this is a long story, but like the dude that I knew, he had already robbed it.
Okay. You had to rewrite.
No,
this was doable.
This has been long enough. This has been long enough.
Okay.
So what he did,
Already did it.
I got to tell this story vaguely.
Okay.
All right, so let's just say there was this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's really just punk stuff. So he went to a movie
Yeah.
that nobody wanted to see, and he went to the last showing. And he waited for the 5-6 people that went to it. They emptied out, and then him and his buddy went up, and they stood behind the screen, and they just let them clean up and lock up. And then they locked up, and then when they went out, this is like the 80s, and then they fucking turned the Asteroids game around in Pac-Man and broke the padlock, got all the quarters,
Oh, wow.
and then just went out the door. And by the time the alarm and the cops get there, you're gone.
Yeah.
So then he goes to me. He goes, there's a safe in the office. And I'm like, all right. I don't know how to talk to women.
Yeah.
This sounds good to me. So it's the same thing. Gonna go to some shit movie nobody sees. You stand behind the screen. And then when they leave, I go, well, they're going to lock the office door. And he goes, no, but they got the ceiling tile. He goes, you just push those things up and over. And then his idea was we were going to just take the whole safe because it wasn't big. And then take it out, throw it in the back of my truck. And I go, and then what? He goes, then we drive away. I go, how do we get it open? He goes, fucking hit it with a sledgehammer and a blowtorch and shit. Well, here's the thing about a safe. 2 things. You don't want somebody to be able to open it, and you don't want somebody to be able to pick it up and leave with it. I mean, they're heavy as shit. It was the stupidest fucking idea ever. And I was going to do it, and I called it off. And not even out of just, this is stupid. Something came up. And I called it off.
Right.
And, we would have been on America's Dumbest Criminal.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. How are we going to get up and over the door? Because this is the thing. There was a big glass lobby. And then the office was in the corner. So if you happened to be driving by and watching this dude giving me like 10 fingers, however the fuck we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And then, like, how are we going to get the safe out?
Right.
We don't have a 2-wheeler. We don't have anything to put it on.
Yeah.
What were we going to do other than we were going to get caught? And I asked the cop one time what I would have got. I go, you would have done about 3 years for that.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He goes, well, there's no gun involved. But he kind of broke the whole thing down. 3 to 5, you'd probably do half. 2.5, 3, you'd be out.
My cousin and I robbed a Ross Dress for Less.
I mean, rob the.
No, he went in pretending he had a gun. He was 16.
Oh my God.
Right? And when he ran in, without even anything happening, I drove away.
You left him there?
I left him there.
What happened to him now?
Because I thought I heard cops coming.
Yeah.
Right? He had just walked in. Cops are coming. It was just like
He's
an
like
instinctual.
a thief hypochondriac.
It was like an instinctual, and I just left him there, right?
Yeah.
And then he turned out, when he walked in, he didn't do the gun thing. He just tried to steal some shoes because he had like a toy gun that he was going to, right? But he went to juvie, but I ran away from home. I lived in my car in Orange County for a week, right? And then I called my mom. But yeah, that was real scary. That's the last criminal thing that I had done. You know
I think it's even more criminal that you left your own.
I'm a coward. I'm a coward. I already know that. I already own up to that shit. I'm a coward. I'm weak. You know what I mean?
We had one where you cover up the license plate with snow, and then the person goes into the liquor store, acts like they're going to buy the case of beer, and then right as you get up to the register, then you just run out, jump in the car, and you take off. So we sent the flakiest friend we had for some dumb reason to go in and do it.
Yeah.
And he ended up he chickened out, right? And then every weekend we would do it, and every weekend he would chicken out, and then that became the bit. Let's just send him in there watch him bitch up, and then just stand there and be like, I don't have an ID. And we would die laughing, and then we'd try to get somebody to buy booze for us. So one day we were like day drinking, and we were fucking hammered. And we were in my buddy's station wagon, me, him, and this dude. And we went to this liquor store. And I was like, all right, dude. I didn't even cover up the license plate. It was the summertime. All right, go over there and do it. So I'm sitting there with this other guy, and we're just laughing and sitting there. And he goes, he's not really going to do this, is he? We go, nah, he's not gonna do it, right? He's just going to chicken out, and we'll find somebody else. It's a funny thing. And then all of a sudden, we just heard this commotion. And he comes running around. I'll never forget. He ran around the corner, and he's looking back instead of running. He's uncoordinated, and he's got a case of beer, and he's looking back, dude. And I swear to God, the fattest chick you've ever seen in your life is right on his ass with a pencil and a fucking pad of paper. So now we're starting to drive away.
Oh,
We're going, come on. He's running. And I got the tailgate down on the station wagon.
Yeah.
And he dives in. And as we're driving away, I hear her yell out, like, she's like, BX958, I got it.
Damn.
And then my buddy driving is almost in tears. He's like, dude, what the fuck did you do? Why did you do that? You said he wasn't going to do it. Like, he always chickened out. We got to get rid of the beer. So we go into this. This is just typical punk suburb shit. So we pull in, and I'm hammered.
Yeah.
And I grab this case of beer, and I run up this guy's lawn, and I see somebody vaguely in the driveway looking at me, and I throw it under the shrub and then run away. With the owner of the house is looking at me. That's how drunk I was. We get in the car, we leave. Long story short, my buddy's neighbor was a cop. He recognized the plate. And then he goes, oh, gee, it's my jerk-off neighbor. I'll handle that after work. And then what ended up happening was the dude who did it and the dude who drove got in trouble for it, and they didn't bring up that I was there. Oh. So then they went to court, and I was like, well, there's no reason for you to go because they don't know. And then they had to pay some fine, conduct unbecoming a good citizen. And they got like community service and shit like that.
That's like East Coast Goodfellas shit. You don't rat.
Yeah.
You don't rat.
No, that's straight across the board. You don't rat, which is what's so funny now. All these comics trashing other comics on social media. I just don't understand that. It's just like, you've become like, comics already get shit. Why would you go if you don't like somebody special or or whatever? You don't like something that they said. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a new phenomenon.
There's a lot of new phenomenons this year, and I don't want to get into it, but
Let's get into it.
No, because it's going to deal with stuff that we don't want to talk about, like cancel culture and whatnot. You know what I mean? But in terms of like people ratting people out, and you know what I mean, and it's been a difficult thing, you know. I
have an SNL character idea. It's called Twitter Lawyer.
Yeah. Twitter Lawyer.
Twitter Lawyer, do you have any opening statements? Yes, Your Honor. I'm all out of fucks. That is the funniest opening statement to just burning down somebody's life. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's my generation would have been doing the same thing if we came up on computers and stuff. It's a weird sort of thing.
You think it's not a new mentality? You think it's just access to a keyboard?
No, I think it's the power of not being face to face. Where when I was growing up, like there was a rule when I grew. This is so funny to hear now, but when I was growing up, there was a rule. You went to a party or somebody invited you over, you do not bring up politics and you don't bring up religion. And then like social media is the inverse of that, where it's just like everything you're not supposed to bring up, you bring up, and all rules of common decency are just out the window. And you know, the whole, hey, I can't, you know, as a guy growing up, there was always that, you know, there's that line. You learn where the line is. If I go past that line, I'm risking getting the shit kicked out of me. And that is sort of, you know, it's like disappeared.
It's funny because like even I have to admit, like I've discovered a couple of comics that I love that could be, you know, Republicans or whatnot, right? They're not out, but you hear rumors. And my initial response is,
What is wrong with that?
I know. I'm just. There's nothing wrong with
Because
that.
they're not out.
Yeah. They're not out as Republicans.
No, they keep their stuff private, is what I meant.
Yeah, because liberals are out of their fucking.
I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah,
But just
good Lord.
listen to my fucking point, though.
Okay.
Let me finish my point. Okay. My initial reaction is like, right, but it's like, no, it's. I'm just gonna make up a name. It's Joey. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like it has nothing to do with we're in it. Just listen, Bill. Right? We're in a volatile like.
I just love how judgmental the left is. You don't know anything about. Oh, he's a good guy. He is still just 'cause he's a Republican.
I understand. But at the end of the day, it's like all these. Even now, because of of politics and the election, all that stuff. Like I try not to like let it ruin or dictate how I feel and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Your political affiliation. There's good guys everywhere. There's bad guys everywhere.
Shouldn't you have a wide variety of people in your life?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It goes back to those alt rooms where it just became like it was just everybody was. It's like it was the echo chamber of it that was what I found fascinating, to go in and do comedy in front of like that like if you were to graph the people in the room, like it was almost like a straight like. There wasn't this guy does this and this person's over here. It was just sort of like, like a, what do you call it? All the dots were like right there.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, which made it like, I don't know. It was so easy to get into trouble.
Right.
During your set there, because it was just like, there was just one place where you could score.
Right. You wouldn't have a Brian Holtzman in a room like that.
I mean, I would.
That's
exactly where I would put them. And I would, and I would film it. And
yeah.
But no, I think,
That's why I watch.
God, I just find that like that stuff fascinating. I try to, I definitely, I joke about politics and shit like that. But, I'm not going to get on somebody because they're, like if you say you're liberal, I don't then think like, oh, that means that you're this. I mean, there's this spectrum of being on the left. There's this spectrum of being on the right, and I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that we maybe learned something over the last 20 years of just, everybody just shitting, like half the country just shitting on whoever's. I really feel like the first George Bush was the last guy who was kind of allowed to be president without half of his country trying to take him out of office.
Yeah.
It kind of started with the Clinton lying under oath about the blowjob. And then it was Bush stole the election and Obama's not from here. And everything Trump did was just like, I mean, I don't know how that helps people, but
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And I think we're at a precipice.
And that's why I stopped giving you shit, Bobby. I was just like, you know what? I need to bring the two coasts together.